Guys, hold on. We just starting just now. Come on. Let's, matter of fact, let's clap. Let's clap. Okay. Okay, let's clap. It is Motivational Monday, September the 19th, 2022, 5 minutes after y'all. Welcome. Shawn Harvey Morning Show. Wake up team. Be love. Cindy J. Whoa. Only place on earth where you get your morning. Wait. Cindy, I dropped it. Hold on. Where you get your morning started. Right. The chat room's wide open. Excuse me, I dropped the microphone, everybody. Chat room's wide open. Please call in 570-982-6950. Sponsored by Comedy World Network. Good morning, guys. 6 minutes after the hour. We truly appreciate you on all major podcast platforms this morning. On YouTube, we appreciate you over there. And also all social media platforms, all of them. Join our group on Facebook, Shawn Harvey Morning Show, featuring the Wake Up Team group, one of the hottest groups on the board. Thank you so much. This is the only place on earth where you get your morning started right. Okay, enough of that. Everybody, I don't know if we're on the board. We're going to talk to the one and only. She was delayed. Let's start clapping. Cindy J is on the phone. Let's clap.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Cindy's on the phone. I hope everybody can hear. B-Love's on deck, but I happen to have Cindy on the phone, and B-Love's going to take over from there. But, Cindy, if you don't mind, could you say hello to all these good folks?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I cannot wait to be back in this studio, but I am here to bring you guys some interesting news, get your morning started right with the morning buzz. So here I am.
Now, Cindy,
Thanks for
check this.
being on the phone.
Now, check this out. Last night, we were at the IMU successful show once again. And we had an incredible good time. I want to thank everyone for coming out. You know, special shout out to Ed Lover, but mostly special shout out to everybody who came out and had a good time, Cindy. And Cindy, I'm telling you right now, we ended the show like at 8:45. Everything was done. And Cindy, for some reason, I don't know what happened, and I know what it is. My right heel on my foot started hurting.
What?
My heel on my right foot. So, Cindy, all of a sudden, I'm limping around the place. I didn't dance. I didn't do anything, just walking around doing I didn't do anything extra. And, Cindy, I believe I pulled my muscle in my right heel. Now, Cindy,
You don't have a muscle in your right heel to pull.
is there muscle in your heel? Is that a muscle? Good morning, guys. Welcome, Motivational Monday. You know that fatty part behind your and babe, before we get into that, Cindy, I like to say I'm proud to say that I have both of my heels are beautiful heels, Cindy J. No crusty, dead skin, none of that. Let's applaud me. Cindy, I don't know what's the scientific name of the heel on the foot, but
It's not the heel. It's like that ankle. It's like, you mean that? Like
no,
that part
Cindy,
of
when you step down, when you walk and you step, it's not. It's below the Achilles part. It's on my foot. It's down on my foot, and I feel it on my heel.
I don't think
I-
I don't think that's what you think it is.
Okay.
Go on.
All right. So whatever you think it is, or whatever I think it's not, right? I'm limping, and I get into the house last night, and Cindy, I had to walk the dog, and my dog is a puppy, but he's a big puppy, and he's a strong dog,
Right.
and he's still in that pulling kind of a stage.
Right.
Cindy, I couldn't walk the dog last night.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Sean.
I walked the dog, but the dog, you know how they always say the dog walk you? Cindy,
Right.
my heel was hurting, so I'm skipping along. I'm looking at the dog. I'm looking how big and strong these shoulders are on this dog. The dog feels that I'm not in control of him, so he's just off to the races. while I'm pulling. I'm like out. I'm doing the whole painful thing. So
Right.
I walk the dog. I go to sleep. I wake up this morning, and
Yeah.
you know when you hurt yourself, Cindy, but you forget because you sleep through the night and you wake up. I'm now still in pain, and I got to walk the dog again. Cindy, don't you know this dog dragged me again? Now,
Of course.
now, I know you talk about. I don't know. It's that fatty part of the bottom of my foot on the back of my foot. I don't know what I did. Uh, Maybe
Well,
it's
the
just.
chat room says it might be a heel spur.
Is there like muscle in that heel? What I don't need. What is the scientific term of this thing? But Cindy, it's my
They said,
right heel.
they said it's a heel spur. Let me look it up. What that is.
I am too sexy for this, and it's
Well,
not a
you
good look. The limp is not a good look right now, Cindy. Before we get into the show,
it says a bony growth that develops around the heel bone, often caused by ill-fitting shoes and sometimes causing pain.
wait. Oh, wait. The shoes. Wait. Are we talking?
A heel spur. It says it feels like a sharp pain, like a knife in the heel when standing up in the morning.
It does.
So is it a dull ache in the heel throughout the day?
It's when yeah. Well, it only like now like when I walk, I feel this pain. It's not a sharp pain, but it's an annoying pain. Is it sharp to where I'm like No, it's not that, but it's painful, but it's not super painful, if that makes any sense. But when the dog came into the equation, I'm like, oh my god, like because now I need my solid footing and I need to plant my feet, and then now that's an issue. But I don't know how I did that. The shoes, I thought I had on some regular
No,
sneakers.
I don't think it's a heel spur because they're over here saying that it's a bony protrusion
No,
on the. So are you having any
no, I'm not having
out
any
of
bony contusions. And put a pause on that.
I'm just saying it's something bony coming out of
No,
your
there's
heel.
nothing bony coming. That's funny. There's nothing bony coming out of my heel. You know what? Maybe I'm just an old ass man, and that's probably let's contributed to that. I don't know.
Okay, well I'm trying to help you.
And I don't know what to take for this. It's not painful enough to where I gotta go to the hospital. I love doing that, or take any kind of medication. And I was fine last night. I sat there. I sat next to Hot Sauce while the show was going on. Ed Lover was basically hosting the show. I really didn't do anything. But I got up and I walked around the Iron Mule, and then all of a sudden I started limping. I couldn't believe this. This is not cool. This is not cool.
Right. It's not Shawn.
So I'm just letting you guys know what's going on with me this morning. I know there's a whole world going out there. I know people are getting, there's a lot of killing and a lot of people are injured. And I don't want to sit here and minimize what's going on in the world with my little soreness in my heel. But Cindy, we're gonna get into a story real quick, and then B gonna take over. But I want to know, guys, what is the scientific term of this heel? What is that? What you know what I mean? And put a number one chat room if you got decent looking heels, and put a number two if you don't. Because Cindy, you already know that's not sexy. For men and women.
Yeah.
You gotta get Cindy, how's your heels looking? What's going on?
They're okay.
Uh-oh.
I have to get I'm due for a pedicure myself, but I do try to do all the stuff because I have eczema, so I do tend to get dry skin. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, my heels look good all the time, but I make sure that when I walk outside, they are correct. It don't take too long to get them right.
Put a number one chat room. We got some decent heels. Put a number two if you got that concrete on the back of those things.
No, I don't have any concrete because some people's heels, like, I don't know what that is. That must be like extreme dry skin, like the cracks in the heel and all that. Looks painful.
Yeah.
But a lot of people and a lot of women that have problems with their heels, a lot of it comes from these nail salons. You're supposed to be getting, it's called I think it's a medical, it's something, it's a special kind of pedicure that we're supposed to be getting. That's why a lot of people, they say, have heel problems. But guys, I don't know what that's about. It's just dry skin. We don't take care of our feet like we're supposed to.
Well, we need
Because
to
it makes sense.
let me see if I can call. Hey, B, I'm gonna put you on the other line real quick. Let me see if I could conference her in. Um, so are you saying that that's
Good morning, Shawn. Good morning, Sunny.
Hey, B Love, good to hear you.
Good to hear you guys too. Shawn, you are hysterical.
all right?
And Sunny, special sounds like expensive.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that much more expensive. I forget because I was seeing this lady on online, and she was talking about, you know how women, like when we go to the nail salon and they use that like cheese grater thing on your feet.
Yes.
She was saying how that actually makes the heel tissue grow back thicker because the way that you're supposed to you're supposed to like smooth out that roughness with like a pumice stone or something like that. When you use that like grater, it
Right.
makes the skin grow back thicker. And so sometimes after you're done getting that pedicure, like I know for me that happens like 3 or 4 days later, like my foot, the heel of my foot feels like rough again. And I'm like, I just got a pedicure. Like, why is it like that? And now I know it's because of that. So now I tell them not to use that. I use a pumice stone or something like that because I really don't need it. My heels are not like callousy or anything. So
uh
Yeah, they just
yeah,
get dry from walking around in sandals, rubbing against
right.
other stuff.
wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a minute. First of all, everybody B loves on the phone. B, first
Good
of all,
morning.
B, how do your heels look?
My heels look great. I keep a little stone by my, and you know where it came from to share a joke from your comrades. I was driving in the car. I think this was last year in town, and I was listening to WBLS. So if I'm in New York City, I will flip through the stations, and I'm listening to WBLS, and I hear, oh my God, is it Bob Lee? He's one of the old school cats. He's on Saturday. He has talent come on. And talent comes on, and talent's talking about summer dresses, and of course he's like, and to quote my boy Aldo, you got to make sure you butter those biscuits.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? It's true. Nobody wants to be walking around with biscuits on their. So I keep a little stone at home and a little kit at home to just hit myself up in between pedicures. And now the winter time, it gets a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that much of a priority. I'm not wearing sandals or open toe shoes, so it's just like, yeah, it's an occasional situation.
They take a back seat.
They really do, but they do get care. So
I do like to say like I said in the beginning of this conversation, beloved Cindy Jane, all the others, I am proud of the back of my heels as a grown ass man. They are clear path. You see nothing but skin. I could take a picture of it. I could put it in the chat room. It's nothing. I am so proud. I think that I maintain my feet and my toes and the heels throughout my life. I've had one. I have one continuous like what's those calluses on the toe.
a corn.
A coin. That's right.
Summertime in your shoe.
Yeah, I have one. Beloved Cindy Jane, everybody, I have one coin that I just keep continuously never going away for the rest of my life. That's something I got to deal with. I don't know how that. You got a coin? Everybody have one of those that you.
Yes.
I have currently, Shawn, I have no corn.
You have what?
I said currently I have 0 corn. I'm happy to say that.
And what about you, B? I have one.
I got one or two in the stash, that I try to hide in my shoes.
Now, everybody in the chat room, put a number one in the chat room if you're dealing with a coin that for either your entire life. Mine keeps coming back.
Yeah, they don't really go away. There is a surgery that you can get done to have them removed. but they don't go away. You can shave them down, but they're coming right back. They're permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
family.
you're right. Like, and the shave down period happens when you have that little discomfort or that pain on that corn, and then it's time to deal with it.
Exactly. Or when you go get your pedicure. Every time you get your pedicure, they're usually handling the corn.
But my whole thing is fascinating. Cindy said currently she doesn't have one. What does that mean? Do you never have one, or they pop up every once in a while?
No, when I wear shoes that I'm not supposed to, I'll get one. That's why, and I'm afraid of getting them. That's why I always make sure I buy comfortable shoes, or usually my dress shoes are open toe. So, like, they have that
Right.
room because they usually come from like rubbing up against your shoes or something like that, or if you're, something with your shoes. So, I had
Yeah,
one
it is
before,
from rubbing. It's from rubbing
and it
and
was so
continuous
annoying.
rubbing. Yeah.
Right, but I put what did I use? I used one of those. I was able to like put that band-aid thing on it. What was it, like those corn removers?
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
used
you
it for I
use
used
that
it for like
successfully. Those things burn so bad. I don't know how we got
yeah.
into this in-depth conversation about feet, but those things hurt terribly. I don't know if you, Sean, have you ever tried the little band-aid thing to remove your corn?
Yeah, but back in my drug days, I had to, I had a lot of coins. There was a lot running around with me, right? And
Oh my
It's not
god.
coins like in quarters. It's corn like
yeah,
in
corn.
chunks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, corn, right? Sorry. And I had the corn, right? And when I was doing drugs back in the day, I didn't have no time to figure it out. It was very painful, so I took the corn and I took my hand and I ripped it kind of right off the pinky, the toe, and
Ouch.
I was in more pain.
You ripped it
I
off.
damn near
Oh my
ripped it off. I just ripped that thing right off of my toe, my little pinky toe, and I was in a tremendous amount of pain. Because I think it's like some nerve endings with that, right?
Well, it's
I
connected to your skin. It's still your skin. It's just extra hard layers of your own skin. So even when you go, to the nail place and they're scrubbing that down, it can still hurt. It's still your skin. So damn,
right.
you took that one like a champ, Sean.
Yeah, no doubt. B, let me ask you something too. Let's go back to the heel. Do you go into judgmental zone when you see people with the crusty heel, like when they're walking down the block or walking down the street and you look behind them? Are you one of those that you're like, oh my God, this is nasty, and you go in the judge zone and what's going on with their life, or you just keep it pushing?
It's Monday morning. Sheesh, you already put me in the judgment box. Um, it's not a matter of judging, but I will look. I'm a people watcher, so I look for all types of things, and feet and heels is one of them.
Cindy,
And
Cindy, you ever had that conversation with one of your homegirls with the crusty heels and said, "Girl, what's going on?" And you just keep it pushing?
No, it makes me check my own because I'm like, oh shit, I hope I don't look. Oh, sorry.
Don't curse. But I'm saying to both of you, if anyone in the chat room, if there's one of your, have you ever had that conversation with one of your beloved family members? If the back of that hill is looking real, crazy, with that concrete on, do you have that conversation or do you leave it alone? Because I don't know if I want to go that route and have that type of conversation with somebody. It gets very personal and you don't want to offend anybody,
No,
right?
I'll tell my friend or something if we're about to go out. I'll be like, girl, look at your heel. You got some lotion in here. I'll tell
yes,
my friend.
seriously, yes, I've done it.
And
I'm like, listen,
yeah,
girl, you're gonna have to hit those tips real quick before we walk out. Seriously.
right. Nobody I'm with. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about nobody I'm with. But
Okay.
if you're not somebody, right? If you're not somebody I know, you're like, well. But when I do see it, I'm like, oh, let me make sure mine is looking right. No, because sometimes it all depends on what type of skin you have. Because I know sometimes I'll put on a whole bunch of oil or lotion, and then like later on in the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, my heel looks dry, and like maybe I'll put a little more. So sometimes people just don't know, like, or don't know their skin. I don't know,
B,
but
Some people just don't care, and I had to have an uncomfortable conversation with my own aunt, who I adore. But it wasn't a rude conversation. I'm like, Dee, we're gonna go get our nails and toes done today. And I was like, and then on the way there, she was like, yeah, I really need. I'm like, no, you really. She does no self care. All she does is take care of her children and her grandchildren. She does no
right.
self care. So I was just like, it looked like Fred Flintstone feet, guys, and I'm not exaggerating. Like it was like almost like little rocks. So I was like, oh hell no. So on the way there, I was like, don't get offended if they bring a saw out or a chisel and a thing to hit it with and a hammer. And she's like, I mean, are they that bad? I'm like, they're really not good. And so we sat there, and I was just like, do whatever you need to do to get those feet in order. And she was so grateful after. She was like, my feet feel so wonderful, and they look so nice. I'm like, yeah. Don't go back to Fred Flintstone. And I tried to keep it funny and also take care of it. It wasn't like I was just criticizing her. Like, I wanted to show her what it looked and felt like so that she could feel better about herself and make sure she didn't go back there. I'm pretty sure she's back there, but I'm just saying I did have the conversation.
Good morning, guys. 20. Good morning, guys. 27 minutes after hour. Welcome back, Shawn Harvey Morning Show. Wake up team. Cindy J B Love, only place on earth where you get your morning start. Right now, B. Cindy, know every year I grapple with this with the ladies. And we're gonna just stay on this the toes and the feet for just one more moment. For Cindy got a quick story, and then we hand it over to you, B. Every year I bring this up here on this show, and I'm a strong advocate of having a national like flip flop day when flip flop day is over here in the Northeast of this country. I think women wear the flip flop too long into September, into October almost, and this is something that has to stop. And I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't think it's sexy that a woman wear flip flop all day, all summer. Or I don't like that. I like to switch up the shoes. But then before we get into that part, I think that at a certain point of the year, at a certain day, all the women should take their flip flops in this part of the country, obviously, and put them away. I think that women wear the flip flop. It's almost an extension to their bodies. It's not sexy wearing the flip flop constantly, all day long, all summer long. I don't like it. It has to be a particular day that you got to take these flip flops and put them away.
Why are you hating on us wearing flip flops?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Season. Well, what about if they live in like Florida or somewhere hot, Shawn?
I said
flip flops are so easy.
B. I just said it. Here in the Northeast, I know other parts of the country it's mandatory. I get it, but here on this part of the country, I think women. They slide right into October, 60 degrees outside. It's 52 degrees. And they still...
I will wear these flip-flops, Shawn, until the first snowfall, okay? I don't care. You will see me out trick-or-treating with my kids with flip-flops. Like, I don't care.
But don't you think that... Cindy, don't you think that that's a certain mentality? You see how you go, you don't care? Don't you think that that's sort of like a mentality that, like maybe a hood mentality, like something like you? I don't know. That sounds like real crazy to me that September, November, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, damn.
Because I don't like shoes. To be honest, I'm not that girl. I don't like sneakers. I don't that's why I need to be in a tropical place. I like to walk barefoot too. So that's like my thing. So I don't like wearing shoes. So flip-flops, any type of sandal, and they're so cute. And, I think I have nice feet. So I like to wear them out.
B, let me ask you this question, B. Don't you think there's some kind of internal clock in a woman to go, it's time to put these things away?
Yeah, but women from here who understand the weather, like, to your point, there's a transition period. From sandals to, flip-flops. Flip-flops just happen to be easy. They're easy to throw on. They're easier than sneakers or, something more cumbersome. But I agree. There's definitely a cutoff point. But it's like here they go from the flip-flops to the Uggs. And then that's a whole new set of situations that I have to see Uggs all winter. And I'm like, oh, my God, there's nothing else we can wear out here.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm not dealing.
Like the flip-flops of boots.
I am not. I refuse to deal with a woman that goes straight from flip flops to Uggs. I am not. I, I'm a grown ass man that is not a grown ass woman that goes from flip flops to those stupid Uggs. I'm not doing it.
So what's the natural progression you would like to see, Sean?
Well, okay, when it's flip flops, flip flop season now is September. You put on a nice, sexy little flat kind of shoe, cover up the toes, throw some sneakers on, go that route. I gotta call him that.
A
Go.
nice little flat shoe.
A nice shoe, little sneaker. I know sneakers are sexy, a little Converse or something like that. Gradually, a heel. Like I want to see a woman with different type of fashions with their shoes, not just the flip flops right to the Uggs. If you're able to do it and you have the finances, I want to see you with different pairs of shoes. I'm not buying you no shoes. I mean, I'll buy my wife shoes if she want. But I want to see different variation. I don't want to see flip flops right to the Uggs. I don't want to do that.
Well, if it's 70 degrees, I'm gonna be in these flops.
So what are you saying? Cindy, if it's 55 degrees and breezy and you got to go to the store and it's late September, you gonna run to the stores with those flip flops on at a breezy 51 degrees?
Is the sun out?
Yeah, the sun's out. Yeah. The sun's out.
Okay, yeah. I'm slipping them on.
B, 51 degrees, 51 degrees. You want to run to the store at 11 o'clock in the morning because of football game. You need some wings or whatever. Matter of fact, it's now it dropped down to 49 degrees. Are you in flip flops?
Why are you dropping down the temperature?
That 1 degree changed my whole mind, just so you know. Now it's 49, absolutely not. 50, I would maybe. They had a shot. No, I'm joking. No, I'm definitely throwing on some kind of I like car shoes. I don't know if you know, but like those car loafers that you can just throw on. They're flat, they're comfortable, they're in and out, but they still look kind of stylish. I'll rock with something like that.
I love
when a sneaker. I like the classic. So. But yeah, I don't know, Sean.
I know. I like what you said. No, B, I like what you said. I like that little flat, that shoe you talk, that little loafer kind of, like there's thousands of variations of these loafer shoes that women wear that some of them are cute and they look nice and they look comfortable. Like I like that.
Yeah.
But Cindy's the one, she's going straight from, flip flops to the boots. So let's clap for her.
I barely go to the
flip flops. I don't even rock your flip flops. I'll say rock your flip flops.
We only get really 2 months of summer in the Northeast, so I drags it, okay? And I don't like wearing the boot either. I really don't like shoes, but I mean, yeah, I'll go to a sneaker, whatever. I don't have like a million pairs of sneakers because I hate them. So like in the winter, I'll get like a black pair and a white pair. Like for the fall, boom, just keep it like that.
Yeah. And B, let me just say this. And Cindy, I'm with you with that, with the sneaker. I don't.
Not a sneakerhead.
Right. We men and women. But it's a turn off for me, B, when I see a woman constantly wear sneaker her whole entire life.
Right.
If you out there wearing a sneaker like that's your go-to shoe for your entire life, there's something wrong with you. And then when you get sexy and put on a little sexy loafer or a heel, you can't even walk in them. Put a number one, ladies, if you that sneakerhead. Because if you are, I don't like you.
I'm weak.
I don't know. If you some women, you guys are beautiful out there. Show some versatility. Why, I don't like a woman that's excited about the new Jordans that's coming out.
Right.
Or the new, what's Kanye's joints called? What are those sneakers called?
The Yeezys.
The what?
Yeezys.
Yeezys. If you're a woman and you in your 40s and 30s and 50s and you wait for them Yeezys to come out, Harvey's not dealing with you. I'm not dating no women that I go over to her crib and she got 50 pair of Jordans over there. We're not doing that.
Some men like that.
I was going to say, I know one of those too, and she has no problem pulling men.
And men, if you like that, what's up with your vision? The only thing you want to see if your lady wears sneakers, that's it. What type of vision do you have? It's very limited as far as I'm concerned.
A lot of
Well,
men
it's
like
like
that,
mine.
or they want to wear matching sneakers with their girls. I don't like those. I don't
I,
like sneakers.
hey, B. And Cindy brings up another question. Are you into that, B? Before I answer that question, are you into that couple matching sneakers, both wearing matching pair of Converse while they going to the airport or they going on a flight somewhere and they take the picture of the sneaker and hey guys, we're out. Are you into all of that, B?
I am not. I am not.
So so wait a minute, Cindy, are you into that? Airport, you and your man going to the Galapagos Islands. You got the matching little cute Converse sneakers on or whatever. Take that picture of the sneakers and we're out. Are you into that?
Yeah, I think that's cute.
Cindy,
Yeah, you doing the matching hers 1 and 2 shirt?
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Or the shirt that says "I'm with him," and then he has a shirt that says "I'm
Oh,
him."
wow, Sean.
well, before we get into that, I like to throw. Before we get into that, I like to throw my Cindy. Ask me, am I into the matching whole couple sneaker thing?
Sean, are you into that whole couple sneaker matching thing? When you go to the airport and you and your girl got on the same shoes with the same shirt, the same pants.
Yeah, we got like we got a uniform on, Cindy.
Yeah, or like she's wearing like opposite your colors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what, Cindy J. You know what? I could get into that. Of course, I think it's cute. I've done it before. I'll do it again. If my wife said, let's put on these matching Converse or whatever and go to the air or whatever and take pictures, sure, I think it's nothing wrong with it. Some people, B doesn't like to do it, and we get into that reasoning. But my whole thing is, I think it's something cute. I think, I like it. Cindy, I'm with you. My wife said, yo, let's put on some matching, I don't know about the matching Adidas suits.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about the Run
Okay,
DMC look.
thank God for that. There's a cutoff.
And all your couples out there, if you had that matching Adidas suit look, that's crazy. But I'm with it. But B, why you don't? So B, if you was in a relationship and the young man said before we get into some stories, said, listen, we're going to airport or we going whatever. We want to get these matching Converse or matching Adidas. Why you not with that?
I just like my own individuality. Like if we're going out somewhere for special occasions, depending on what I'm wearing, maybe I'll, throw a shirt and tie in the same kind of shade or something that kind of coordinates, something like that maybe. But it's going to the airport looking like cartoon characters. For what? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I just like my own individuality, and the men that I date, they have their own individuality too. They're not that. They're not the type of man who will be like, "Yeah, let's go get matching Converses." They're gonna have their swag. I'm gonna have my swag. We're both gonna look great, and we're gonna go wherever we're going.
Well, Cindy, to me
And
that
look good together.
Cindy, that sounds very disappointing to me, right? And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because if I was dating someone, I was dating B Love, right? And I came up with this idea of let's do something matching, like the matching Converse. Unfortunately, she will reject me, right? Because we have our individuality, as she said. But Cindy, it would make me feel a little sad and upset a little bit because I was focused on the relationship and I thought maybe this would be something that's really good for us to go to the airport with matching Converse, and it showed that I'm into my lady, and it showed that maybe we could do something identifiable and a little fun to go to the airport with these Converse. And look, she shuts me down. And then you guys say, men don't put in the effort. Don't put in the effort on these relationships. Can't find a good man out there. And the dude says, yo, let's go to the airport, Cindy, with some matching Converse, and I get shut down.
Well, you have to know the type of person that you're with as well. You just can't spring something on somebody, and then when they say no, you feel all victimized.
But Cindy, but wait a minute.
With your thing 1 and thing 2 shirt with matching Converses, and I'm supposed to be ecstatic. That's like effort.
But Cindy,
yeah, know
uh,
your audience, folks.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, B. But Cindy, what if your man came to you and just right out the blue and said, we going to airport, and you're getting ready and you're getting ready to pack, and you're a few days in, and he just jumps up and goes, hey, hon, would you wouldn't mind if we wear some matching Converse? Wouldn't that be like some really good energy on your end, Cindy, if a man said that to you?
Yeah, I feel like you did. Where are they? Let's see them. Let's try them on.
Right. And Cindy, wouldn't it take it to a whole nother level if he suggested wearing Converse and then after he said that, pulls out a pair of Converse in your size? Cindy, you're going to give him some vagina after he do that, right?
Yes, but I'm somebody that's into that.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. That's what's so big. What if y'all was packing and all of a sudden this guy came out of nowhere and said the Converse, but then he pulls out a pair right then and there. You still gonna reject this dude?
No, I probably wouldn't. I would be like, oh my God, that's really thoughtful. You know what I mean? And I would try to make it work in a way where it still gives me some individuality. And when I say individuality, if he comes to me with something that's really dope, but I'm just like, hell yeah, we're rocking that tomorrow. But it's not my thing. It's not something that I would do. So, and like I said, the men that I date know my audience, and they know theirs. We don't do that. But if they happen to do that, it may not be. If they put the effort in, I would for sure just roll it.
Okay. Now, Cindy B talks about individuality, right? Right, Cindy. What if the young man came to you before you was going on the trip a few days later and packed, and he pulled out 2 matching bracelets or diamond bracelets or necklaces or something like that of high value? Are you still rolling with that, or are you keeping your individuality? What if he came out with 2 matching diamond rings, some Rolexes? Are you wearing that?
That's a different level of
No, B, you can't. No, B.
That's a different
No, B. No, B, you can't.
It's not about the money, Shawn. It's
No.
not about the money or the value. It's who you are as a person. Again, the other side of me, because I am conscientious about money. I feel like, damn, like this is beautiful, but what's like, can we do something else? Like, I'm not that type of person that's over the top, or I just like what I like and I do what I do. And to your point, when I get to that place, if I'm with someone that I love and care enough about, that those things don't matter. And right now they don't seem like they matter. I'm just like, it's just not something I do. Then at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I'll do that. But right now, I'm not in a situation where I have to do those things. So I'm just like, they're not things I would normally do. So
Cindy, you hear her? She's not taking the Converse, but she's not wearing the Converse to the airport, but she'll take the matching diamond.
I never said that.
She'll take the matching diamond watches and go to the airport with that. But, it's different levels to this. All right, well. What are they saying in the chat room? Have everybody did the matching outfit, Run DMC thing, or the matching sneakers in a relationship? Have you ever did that? That's the first question. And secondly, have you? Do you reject that? I don't know. Cindy, I'm with you. We're doing matching thing. Now I'm not doing I don't think I'm gonna do the matching uniform. I don't know about the Run DMC uniform. I'm not doing. I seen some. We all seen that. I don't. The matching Puma set. I don't know about that.
But what about when you see it?
Levels to the game, then, Shawn.
What you said, B?
I said, so there's levels to the game for you too.
Yeah, it is.
Not doing those suits, but
Cindy, are you matching? Are you wearing the matching Adidas suit?
She said she's down for this, but she's down with it. Shawn.
I would do it. I'm not gonna leave him hanging. But it's funny because I seen a picture. My cousin, his name is Jason, and he came up here with his wife Andrea, and we were looking through their pictures, and they definitely did that. Like they'll dress up alike, and then like go to do like a photo shoot. So maybe it's a thing in my family. We like to be corny.
Yo.
But I like, and you know what? When I see other couples that are like dressed alike. I think it's so cute. I think they look so cute.
Now, Cindy, let me stop you. And guys, you gotta listen to this. Thanks for listening to the show this morning. Only place on earth where you get your morning started right. B, love, Cindy is not playing. I actually met the cousins that she's talking about. Yo, it seemed like they're a couple that's been together for like 100 years, but they're only 35 years old. You know the couple that's been together since they were 6, like the high school sweetheart kind of thing couple?
Okay.
And we were talking about that. We were all met up. We were at the I can't remember what event we were. What did they come to again?
Oh, that was for the Juneteenth.
Oh yeah, Juneteenth. Now, and we started talking, and don't you know this man started pulling out pictures. And you know those old school studio pictures that we used to take back in the day? There's nothing but hundreds of pictures he was showing me throughout the years of him and his wife wearing matching outfits. And I thought that was really strange. B, I could even go a little deeper and say maybe from whichever party, the man or the woman, it could be a control situation. Like, yo, honey, put this uniform on so we could take this picture. It's gonna be a problem.
Did you get that vibe? That
I got the vibe.
B,
I got the vibe after the 65th picture of them wearing the same outfit.
Shawn, you are so stupid. No, you're just seeing people who get each other, people who are in alignment. That's what you're seeing.
Now, in this couple, you could see the energy be with the couple that Cindy's cousins that we're talking about. It was a loving situation. It was almost what all of us strive for in a relationship. They sort of, you know, when a couple is really into themselves and they know themselves and they love themselves throughout the years, that they almost become as one.
yes.
That's this couple. But it's still strange that they wore the same weird turtleneck. Like they was wearing, remember the turtlenecks were popping back? They had the beige turtlenecks with the vest. They looked like backup singers. It was crazy. They looked like two members of the Four Tops.
Oh my goodness. I can't with him.
I have to get the pictures from him and post it in the group room.
And Cindy's
We must see this. But you know, so it goes back to your question, right? I mean, what is this about? And to Cindy's point, there are people out there who have these kind of relationships where people can actually be happy together, guys, and they can actually wear matching outfits, and they can actually have like minds. You know what I mean? That's usually how it works. If you have like minds, you can be successful in your relationship because you guys are pretty much on the same page. When you have these separate minds, where it's just like, can we even come together? Can you be an individual, so to speak, in a relationship?
Right.
That's the question I have for Shawn Harvey this morning, and you, Cindy.
What?
Wait. Of course you can be an individual in a relationship, but I think that again, I'm not a relationship expert. Thrown out of 57 women houses, 78 relationships, 3 baby mothers, divorced, married twice. Okay. I gotta always say that because I'm not an expert. But yeah, I think at some point that would be the goal is to, you know, you have your own individuality, of course, but you want as a relationship to sort of come to a crossroads and meet there and become as one, like Cindy's cousin. I think that would be the ultimate goal in being in a relationship. And I think it takes time and it takes commitment. Cindy, how long are they together? Like 30 years?
Yeah, I think they've been together for like 30 years.
They've been like together 30 years, but they're very young. I think they started together when they were 16. Literally, I think so. I don't know.
Right.
But-
That would make sense.
And you could tell like a relationship like this is a very loving relationship. I mean, we all go through, you know, situations in a relationship, but this is a type of relationship that I would probably want, and I think we all would strive for, where at a certain point it's almost Yeah, you can have your individuality even throughout the relationship, but boy, you want to come as one. Oh, and pause and put pause on that. You want to meet, at that crossroads and be, that couple that almost is unified, but also have your individuality as well. I think that might be an issue where couples today, I'm not a relationship, I don't want to get into this, but I'm just saying people, especially women and men, they got too much of their own individuality, and they can't even come to that crossroads in the beginning of a relationship to even strive for something great like Cindy's cousins. I don't think we'll ever be there anymore because we have too much information, too much hurt, too much resentment, it's a lot of eyeballs out there, a lot of comparison. That's what I think.
That's fair enough.
I'm just saying. I mean, will we ever meet at that crossroad, or do we have to have a post-nup or a prenup, not marriage, but just in a relationship? Period. There might be some.
That's a good idea. A prenup in a relationship.
I think so because I think at this point it goes to Cindy point, because it seemed like with Cindy, everything, all the cards have to be on the table immediately in the beginning. And at the same time, we need to be on the same level, which for me, with Cindy J, I always disagree because I think it's a form of segregation with dating a man, because Cindy, and for every right she has, she wants a man to be on the same playing field, on the same level, economically, physically, financially, spiritually, and I keep telling her that God don't exist, but we keep, grappling with each other throughout the years.
Right.
Now, I get it. Now, if you could find that person and script and put it down on paper and have some agreements, you don't have to be married. You can be in a relationship and have some type of written agreement. Now, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I had 2 women pregnant at the same time in the 90s. I don't know.
I would say that makes you the expert, Shawn.
I don't know.
But to Sunny's point, if she sees her 2 cousins and she sees that kind of love, then it is possible, and that's what she's holding out for.
Cindy, is that the case?
Yeah, a little bit, because it gives me hope that it's not dead, that you can find your quote unquote person. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be your person. It just needs to be somebody that gets you and is willing to do this thing with you. There's too many people that it doesn't mean that we have to be the same, think the same, do the same stuff. I just want somebody that's like my friend, that's like my road dog, that's like, okay, let's do this. Or if we come to a problem, they're not so selfish, to just have it their way. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, nobody wants to work.
Yeah, but B, this like a relationship, and then Cindy got a story. We're gonna get into these stories real quick, and then B got what she gonna do her thing. But Cindy, with your cousin, this couple who I've met, and the energy is unbelievable with these folks, and you could tell that this is the kind of relationship that we all want, B. Right. But the problem with their relationship, and the whole spectrum of things. It's a very small percentage of couples that are like that in this world. That's the problem. So when we look at them and we go, man, we want to be like those guys. But there's not a lot of couples out there that can achieve that. Everybody's dating and trying to find somebody. And I think that couple, Cindy's cousins, is a very small percentage of successful relationships that are out here in the world that we look and say that's the picture of the relationship we want, but in the reality, it doesn't happen that way for me.
Right.
That so Cindy's cousin and his wife, their benchmark is it's plateaued all the way at the top. They're a 10.
Right.
While we're all down here with the 3s, 4s, 2s, 1.5 minus 3s. And even if you're in a successful marriage, that could be a strong 6.
Right. Well, that's funny because, as much as we sit on the outside looking in at their number 10 relationship, I'm sure they've been through some things that have, tested them. I mean, Has it all been perfect? Because then I'm inclined to believe, to your point, Shawn, then absolutely, yeah, that's a 10. But I'm sure they've been through their stuff,
Hey.
especially being in a young relationship. That comes with its own set of challenges, growing up together, so to speak.
And
Yes.
one more thing I forgot to tell y'all when I was out there. Then we'll get into a story. And welcome to the show, guys. We appreciate you. Cindy, when I was walking the dog last night, with my heel hurting and limping,
Yeah.
my next door neighbors, I don't know what for the last like 5 days, they've been arguing real heavy.
I'm like,
And I don't know what they're arguing about because every time I come out the door, everybody stops talking.
Like you weren't hearing them before.
Yo, I hate that. You can hear them yelling at each other, and there's some deep issues. And I'm like, what? My wife and I are listening intensely. We,
Not intently.
yo, I am so nosy. These people are arguing. Yeah, right? You did that before? Couples are arguing, and you just sitting there listening.
I've done a little ear hustling in my day, Shawn.
You ever heard the neighbors arguing and you just like, okay, you just park, you stopped everything, and you just listen. You ever did that?
yeah, all the time. All the time. As soon as I hear a raised voice, I'm like, let's go. And one time, I was actually scared because this was when I was, like a new mom. I lived above this couple, and um, I had just had my daughter, and so like, I was in the house all the time, and it was like the middle of the afternoon, and this guy was going off. Like I could hear things like being banged around. And I think like he locked her out of the house or something. She was like, stop it, blah, blah. And then like he let her back in the house. There was some more thrashing going around. And then like I kind of didn't hear anything. And I was actually scared because I called my mom and I was like, Mom, like, what if something happened? Like, what if she got hit? Da, da, da. And my mom was like, just mind your business.
But it's almost a rush of adrenaline when you get that arguing, because the guy, he was very vocal and just yelling, and I think it's an exciting moment for us, the listener, or like B said up there, ear hustling. But in the flip side of that, when we're arguing, they're doing the same thing. They listening to us. But sometimes you can't contain yourself. You're in the emotion and you arguing, and you don't care who hears what you're saying. Those are the good ones, especially online on social media. All right, Cindy, on a motivational Monday, I'm motivated. Cindy, I think we got a story about because we was at the Iron Mule last night. Shout out to everybody that came out. We had a great time. The service was great, and the show was awesome. Shout out to DJ Hot Sauce for doing his thing, playing music. We truly appreciate you. But Cindy, don't you got a quick story about the service industry, real quick, that we talk about all the time, but this one is in reverse?
Yes, I do have a story about that I found absolutely appalling. And so the restaurant is actually taking action and is suing the customer who did this. Okay, so a waitress, her name is Mariana Lambert. She was on the receiving end of a generous gratuity as part of a viral social movement called Tips for Jesus. She received a whopping $3,000 after serving a Stromboli meal at a restaurant in Scranton, Pennsylvania for $13.25. So the guy tipped her $3,000 on a $13 bill. Initially, her and her management team weren't convinced of the legitimacy. They said, we ran his card, everything went through properly. They took his ID and took pictures of everything. And so they waited a little bit to make sure it was legit, and the payment went through and ended up being real. Additionally, the server said it really meant a lot to her because everybody's going through stuff right now. So she said it really touched my heart. I still can't believe it. I'm in shock. However, the establishment stated that the situation went left after the restaurant claimed Eric Smith, the person who left the tip, was disputing the charge. They said a little over a month ago they received something in the mail that the customer was disputing the charge for the tip that he left. They said we thought somebody was actually trying to do a good thing, and then now we are 3 months later, and there's nothing to show for it at this point. The restaurant began communicating with Eric through Facebook to get to the bottom of the issue, but he stopped replying, saying it's just a little aggravating right now. It's been causing a lot of nonsense and drama. The restaurant manager went on to say that Eric said that they could sue the restaurant for the money, as they gave her the $3,000. Unfortunately, they said they had to file charges through the magistrate's office because now they're just out of the money at this point. And he told us to sue him, so I guess that's what we're going to end up doing. So they're going to sue him, which is kind of sad. I don't know, like, I wonder if the server still works there. Like, was the manager like, yo, you got any of that money left?
Right.
Like, let me get 1,000 or two back, and we'll just. But that's really sad. I think that's horrible that guy did that.
Well, that's unfortunate. What was it, Tip for Jesus, you said?
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I know of other groups that, like, sometimes I forget what they're called, but it'll be like a group of like 10 or more people, and they all like put in $100 on top of the bill, and then they give it all to the server. Remember I did that story, and then they didn't give it to the server. The restaurant actually took it and split it amongst everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, there are these things going around, but it's like things like this that put like a sour taste in everybody's mouth, where like nobody, now another person's going to be like, nah, we're not taking tips like that. Or they should just give it to the person in cash. I feel like cash is always better.
Before I give my opinion on this, B, what's your? This is a sad story. Before you go on to your next story, Cindy. B, what you think? What's your opinion on this?
I think dude gave her the tip at the time, thinking he was doing something good, and then maybe something happened in his financial situation later where he was like, "That's a lot of money. I could do something else with it, and I'm just going to dispute this charge." That's what I think. Because if you knew, when you get the charges, as everyone knows, when you run it on credit, it comes through pretty much right away. And even though it takes a couple of days for the tip to pop up, unless you have a lot of money in your account, $3,000 is a red flag. $3,013 is a red flag. So you're going to do something about it at that moment, or you knew that you gave it to her, and you're going to let it ride. And then somewhere down the line, something happened where he changed his mind. Maybe somebody talked him out of it. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? And it's so easy now to call your credit card company and just say, I'm disputing this charge. 9 times out of 10, they'll dispute it, and they'll take the money back from the restaurant. So that's what it appears like to me. Why else would he just 3 months later be like, no, I didn't? 3 months later? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, again, we do, as Cindy says it all the time, to her point, where we live in these times where we don't have the physical cash, because it does make sense if you had like physically $3,000 on you, this wouldn't even be an issue. But because we live, there's a large percentage of us consumers and folks out here that just don't have cash on them. There's a lot of people who literally don't have any money, paper money. And they just, use debits and credits, and that's how we do our transactions. Right. And here's the liability and the downfall of this sad story, where the guy swiped the card and now he's disputing it 3 months later, and now the restaurant Cindy, they had to pay the rest of the bill, right?
They lost out $3,000.
Yeah.
The restaurant.
Yeah.
And
the restaurant paid.
Well, actually, they really did. Yeah, they did lose $3,000 because they basically paid her for what they thought they got paid. So yeah, the restaurant is out $3,000.
Yep, $3,000. And no, I don't think. Yeah, she might have to leave that place of employment. I don't think that they should fire her. I don't think there's probably laws to protect her, but that would be a hostile work environment if she came to work every day, and the restaurant lost the $3,000. So
Right.
it's a sad story. It's the three, and yeah, they should cap the tips unless you have cash.
Right.
So if the guy writes down, yo, tip $3,000, nope, can dispute it. You only could give $1,000, and that's it. And take the 1,000. Or if you got another two, go to the ATM, get another whatever, get another $2,000 and give her cash.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
just to alleviate all of this.
I mean, yeah, but that kind of like if they're legit, it might make them not want to do it. But yeah, I don't know. You have to have something in place. You can't be having things like this happening.
And
I venture to say that the wife might have looked at the bill and the wife might have caught the charge. Because I'm just sitting here thinking about it. What would make him change his mind 3 months later, right? And then I started thinking about, like, you know how guys get charged when they were scamming the strip clubs, were scamming the customers, putting these super high charges on their cards, and the husbands
Right.
were too embarrassed to tell anybody. You know what I mean? And so they wouldn't say anything. Maybe, the wife was like, what's this $3,000 charge? And he probably was like, I just tipped the waitress. She did a really good job. And the wife, I could just imagine this going back and forth. Because what else would make him change his mind?
I
Cindy,
have no idea.
Cindy, before you get to your next story, would you feel a certain way if you was out with your man and the server gave great service, but she was a very attractive young lady, ass, thighs, hips, the whole thing, and your man gave an extra like $50 to this chick? Would you feel a certain way? And you're sitting there and you know it, and you kind of ask the question like, why are you giving this bitch an extra $100? Like, would that be a question, or is it just good service?
Um, I don't know. It has to be a little evaluation. It's definitely going in my memory bank. I don't know. It depends because
I
if
will
she's the
not
type,
forget.
right? I will not forget this. But if that's the type of person he is, like, because there are some people, those people that like always give money to bum and like always are like doing extra and stuff like that. Like, if that's the type of person he is, then I wouldn't think anything of it. But if he was like doing like little flirting, smiling, like all that other extra stuff, and then tipping her all of that, yeah, it's gonna be a conversation, and it's definitely going in my memory bank.
But will it be a conversation right then and there? Like, like would you ask him to dispute the charge right there? Say he gave a hundred. Say the tip, a moderate tip was $30, right, on the bill, right? But he gave
Yeah.
her $125. Now he's writing down the tip, Cindy J, and like us men, he leaves the bill on the table. Got to run to the bathroom before the server comes back and pick it up, and you happen to glance at it,
Right.
and you see a extra $100-something on the tip. Are you handing it back to the lady, or are you waiting for him to come out the bathroom and have that discussion then and there, or are you gonna wait to after the fact? Like, why did you get this bitch $125?
Um,
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
hold your
stop right
thought, hold your
there.
thought, hold your thought. B, same situation. He goes to the bathroom. You see that the tip is a $30 tip would have been great, but it's $125, and he's the type of person that don't tip like this. This is an isolated incident, and this server is fine as hell. Are you having that discussion there, or are you giving the server the bill?
No, I'm giving the server the bill. If there's a discussion that needs to be had, it's going to be had later. I'm certainly not in front of her. And then to Cindy's point, I would have to understand my man and who he is.
He's
and
a
how he
isolated. This
gets
is an
down.
isolated incident. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do it.
Listen, I don't know what he may have seen or heard. I'm a very giving person, and I pay attention to what's going on around me, and I give servers a lot. Servers, cleaning staff, anybody who takes care of anything that touches me, my stomach, my body, I give a lot of respect to. And so because of that, I don't know if maybe he overheard a conversation in the, that she was having in a stressful situation. You never know. Where he was just like, I'm just going to add a little something extra to her tip to help her out, whatever it is. It's insecurity that drives us to believe that he's done something kind for someone because of her looks. And even if that's the case, let him do his thing. I'm not worried about that.
Well, let me tell you something, young lady. You're a better person than I am. And that actually happened to me, not with the tip amount. My wife and I went out, not recently, about maybe a year ago, if not, right? And we went to this really nice restaurant, Cindy. And the server was this dude. And when I tell you he was one of the best looking men I ever seen in my life, Cindy, this neighbor had on the tight shirt, muscles bulging out. Like he looked like he just came from the gym, had the tight ass muscles, the tight outfit on. And boy, all the ladies were looking at this man, even my wife. And I couldn't even be mad. B-Love, I couldn't even be mad. He was a good-looking man.
Okay.
Right? Now, in saying that, that's all good. He's a good-looking man. Nothing I could do about it. Everybody look at this guy. It's all good. But if my wife, if she was paying the bill and she gave that $30 tip that was moderate, that's a good look. But if my wife gave this neighbor an extra $100 to $125, extra $95 on the tip because he looks really good and he flirted a little bit, respectively, and she goes to the bathroom and I look at that bill is not going to him. I'm going to wait for my wife to come out the bathroom so we can discuss this right then and there.
Wow.
I'm going to tell my wife, no. Put that $30 back on that joint and stop playing yourself.
Oh, Lord.
We're not doing that.
It's our $30. It's our $150.
Just because he got triple biceps, you're not giving him $95. I'm not going to feel a certain way and hold my feelings and then walk to the car and then she's driving away and I'm in the passenger seat and the energy's weird and then she's like, what's wrong with you? And then all of a sudden I start tripping. Why? You gave him an extra $95. No, we're dealing with that right then and there. Okay, he's fine as hell, but you're not giving him an extra $95. We're not doing that.
Well, what if you found out that he was a single father and that, he basically was working, this was like a second gig to take care of his 6 kids. And, she just was like, man, a little few extra dollars would help a single good father that's trying to take care of his kids. That wouldn't sway your conversation.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if he cured coronavirus and monkeypox at the same time. I don't care. You're not going to be looking at this guy's muscular ass and these big ass biceps and give him an extra $95 while we sitting there eating dinner and I'm looking crazy in these streets, because what's the conversation after that? When we leave, he's going to be, this lady gave me an extra $95 in front of her bitch-ass husband that sat there and did nothing. That's the way men think. We're not doing that. You, B-Love and Cindy J, you're better than I am. You're talking about we're going to have this discussion right after the fact. No, we're not. My wife is going to change that bill, right? Put that, matter of fact, now you're going to give this neighbor $20.
Oh, Lord.
Because you're playing yourself. You guys are better than me. Put a number one chat room if you're dealing with that right at the table. Or put a number 2 if you with Cindy and B-Love that you're going to discuss this in the car later on. Or I'm going to put that in my memory bank. There will be no memory banks for Harvey. Those charges are disputed right then and there. You're going to sit there and give this big bicep ass neighbor an extra $95 because he got white teeth and he twists his shoulders around? No.
Have a heart, Harvey. Have a heart.
Give me those $95. Now I could see if her and her homegirls went to the club, the male review, the dancing, and you're tipping the man. Yes, I get that. That's okay with Harvey. But you're not tipping nobody an extra $100 because they fine as hell. Or have that conversation with me, honey, but which she's not. Honey, he fine as hell. Can I give him an extra $100?
So can I ask you a question, Shawn? So has she ever handled this at the table with you?
What if I was to tip an extra $95 for some?
Yeah, has it happened?
No, it's never happened. But knowing my wife, she's not gonna be happy about this. If I walked away and she looked at the bill, she's gonna deal with that right. That knowing her, she's gonna deal with that right. You B-Love and Cindy, you're better than my wife. She's gonna deal with that right. She's gonna say, why are you giving this bitch an extra $100 right now? Because I see it on the bill while your dumb ass went to the bathroom. And then here she come walking by with that fat ass again.
It'd be like, cha-ching. The tip just went up $10 more.
And I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm like, I don't know why I gave her. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not gonna do all that.
So
I'm not gonna stop another girl's bag. You got it, boo.
Exactly.
Get this money from this dude, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be doing the same thing.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, get that money, girl. That's right. Trick them for what they're worth. Because now I see you, and now I know what you're about. Because if that's the reason you giving her money just because she look good, all right.
That's a you thing. That's not a her thing. That's not her fault that she's attractive. It's not her fault that that's a you thing. And I'm not gonna sit here and embarrass myself first, but us mainly. For what?
Yo, you guys, God bless both of you.
Exactly.
God bless both of you.
Because now you're showing me what type of person you are.
What?
You're number one, financially irresponsible. Number two, you're shallow. Number three, you don't give a damn about how I feel or our finances or what we're trying to do together. So that's what I'm saying. You have to give people enough room to hang themselves. Show me who you really are.
But wait a minute. So then why? But
Olive Garden meal.
Hold on, Cindy. But so then.
because you're not taking me any place expensive because we've been together for so long. So I'm getting the regular anyway. And then you go over here and pay for her $125.
Right.
But my point is, why then if you so focused on all this, why you just don't deal with it right then and there? Why are you getting in the car and driving off and deal with it?
Because what am I gonna deal with? A whole bunch of you deflecting me and gaslighting me and calling me insecure and blah 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 blah. You already showed me who you are. What I need to argue with you about? Right. You want to spend your money on that? Spend it.
And again, I'm looking crazy out here. Just even if it was wrong, even if it, you know what I'm saying, I'm the one who's going to wind up looking like that person who's just. It just makes me as a woman look insecure. When I know it's not about insecurity, but at the end of the day, whatever it's about, it's not something that needs to be handled right then and there. I think that's the problem that people have today. It's like everything needs to be handled out in public. To your point, the talking loud when you're arguing, it's not everybody's business. Everybody doesn't need to know. If I have an issue with you as my man, it goes back to protection, and we've talked about this. As my man, I'm not going to have you. Nobody's going to be taking pictures of Shawn Harvey, and it's going to be on TMZ tomorrow, or Shawn Harvey and wife, or arguing restaurant over tip for big booty waitress. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? That's not happening. We're going to handle this when we get home.
What?
Listen, this is my protection as a woman to my man. That's what y'all don't understand. You need to have your point right then and now. I need to make my point. Shut the hell up. Make your point in the car, and we can argue about this on the way home. And when we get in the house, dead it, because it's a dead issue, and let's move on with life. It's too short, and I'm not going to die, God forbid, tomorrow, and we're arguing over a 95. If something happens to me the next day, you're going to be like, oh, my God, I should have just let her spend $95 on this stripper guy. Let it go.
All right.
Not that serious.
Before we move on to our next story, put a number one. Put a number one in the chat room if you're dealing with this right there, right at the table before you hand in your bill, your check. or put a number 2 like B and Cindy, B Love and Cindy J. You're gonna deal with this on the way home in a car, and then after you get home and
If I
discuss
even
it, it's
deal with it
over
at
with.
all. Right. Do you even want to deal with it at all? That's the important question.
Give Harvey 17 number ones. We're dealing with that right there. If my wife goes,
he gonna be like, I should have listened to B Love when she was like, I should have just took myself to the car.
And when my wife comes back to the table, Mr. Harvey is going to ask Mrs. Harvey the first thing out of my mouth, why are you giving him an extra $95? That's the first thing I'm going to say. As soon as she go, well, great service and no. Let's dumb that bill back down to $30.
No.
This conversation with my wife is going to be literally 45 seconds, and that bill will be modified.
Let me tell you something. You know how?
And I don't give a damn what you're talking about.
Senny, the next day I'm going out and buy myself, or not even the next day. When I find myself in a situation where I see something I like, but maybe I didn't want to spend that much money on it, I'm gonna pick it up. And when he comes back and he's like, "Where's that? What is this? Oh, you was just feeling so generous the other day.
If
you guys big chips.
If
so
you
I just
guys,
tipped myself.
yo,
I
see,
serve you every day.
yo.
I'm being petty as hell all the way. I'm letting you ride with that $95 tip, and don't say nothing to me when I'm buying something. Don't even fix your mouth. Don't even stop the thought before it even gets in your mind to say, don't buy that.
Right.
See?
You best not.
Right. It should be. Go ahead, honey. Go grab it.
Right. And that's what I save it for. Times like that. That's why you put it in your memory bank. So I could be like Olive Garden.
That's right. I don't have to say anything. Exactly.
What are they saying in the chat room? Put a number 1 in the chat room if you're dealing with this right then and there. Put a number 2 if you're not. And boy, you two women are very bold with this. And God bless both of you. I'm a man.
You got a few ones in the chat room. Trina Pinker said, "No, I'm not like B Love. We're talking about it now."
Thank you. Trina, right. Thank you. Then hold on a second, ladies. Right. So Trina's saying that she's doing with Harvey. She's dealing with that right then and there, right?
Right. That's what she said. Amir too. Amir Silly Funk. He said, "Funk that. We're handling business on the spot."
Thank you.
With a capital S. But then the Godfather says that's when you use your iPhone and Android to argue silently. I like that approach better than Godfather. I'm with that.
Nah, but you know what I'm gonna do? I might, while he's in the bathroom, I might just make the tip $200 and tell her break me off a piece of that after that goes through to me.
Well, like the comedian Tony Robbins say, you gonna need your ass whipped for that.
Hit me on the Cash App. Hit me on the Cash App, boo. I got you.
No, that's where that 3 months down the line, that 90-day reversal hits your account. She gonna be looking for you, Cindy, like, where's my half?
Be like, that's her problem. That's your problem.
I think that, okay, before we move on to the next story, and I'm thinking about what you guys are saying, everybody, this way you get your morning started right. B Love, Cindy J's on the phone. You lose a lot of leverage when you don't deal with it right then and there on the spot, and then you get in a car and try to address it. It is after the fact. It's too late. The person that you debating this or discussing this with, they definitely have all the leverage now. They could shut the whole conversation down. Yeah, $95. I gave it to her. No big deal. Let's get out of here. Let's blah, blah, blah. You got to, for me, and I respect you guys. Nope.
But who cares, Shawn? Because I wanted you to give it to her. Like, that's the thing. I don't care about the money. It's what you decided to do with your money. It's not about the money. It's about your
intention. The intention.
And that tells me I don't need to argue with you because you already showed me what you're about. So the argument at this point is me trying to sway you to do something else. No, be who you are, boo. Be who you are. I don't need to argue with you. That's who you are. And
right.
Right.
And obviously it's not for me. So now I need to do some more thinking. I don't even want to argue with you because I gotta look at what's best for me. I need to do some thinking. I don't even want to hear what you about to say.
Oh my God.
Yep. And Danielle Williams in the chat room, good morning, Danielle. She said, we're going to talk in the car or at home because I'm going to take it too far at the restaurant. Agreed. We sometimes we can't temper ourselves. We're talking loud. It's getting rude. It's uncomfortable. Just get in the car. First of all,
No,
there's no
I
love
don't know,
response
man.
because this is your issue.
I
Not
don't
mine.
know about that. It's almost actually a form of disrespect. I can't hold. I can't deal. I can't deal. I'm not gonna get in the car. I can't refrain from my feelings to say when I see a bill that my wife spent almost $100 because the man's flirting with her and she feels good about it, and I see this and not say anything. And then what they gonna come with the dessert? We're gonna eat the dessert because you know how they go. Do you want any dessert? We're gonna go through that and we're gonna sit there and we're gonna eat the dessert. He took the bill already. I know that it's $95 to $100 extra because he's flirting with her and she's paying him for that. I can't hold that.
Well, first of all, you just threw the whole flirting thing in.
Well, okay, well for him. Well, he's doing his little flirty thing, not
There was
her.
no flirting going on before. It was all about just an attractive waiter or waitress.
Okay, well,
That's what it was.
all right, I'll take that back. Let's go back to the attractive waiter or waitress. Forget about the flirting. And still, if my wife still did that, and then Cindy, we're gonna move on to the next story. I gotta deal with that right then and there. I'm sorry, I cannot. My whole attitude and mood and energy is gonna change when she come back from the bathroom. She's gonna look at me. She's gonna go, "What's wrong?" And I'm gonna look at the bill and say, "Why you gave this neighbor this money?"
Now, what if she responds to you because I wanted to? What is your response to that? I wanted to. It's
Oh, boy.
my money. Let's just say this doesn't impact you and I at all. Let's just say, honey, I'm taking you out to dinner tonight. It's my treat, and we're going out to eat. And I decide to leave the waiter an extra $100, and let's say waiter or waitress an extra $100 tip, and you see it on the receipt. Are you saying anything?
Yeah, we're going down a real dark road now.
I'm just saying.
We're going down a road with no stop signs. If a woman's gonna sit there and tell me I did this because I wanted to, and he flirted and he's attractive, now we're going down a road that you don't want to go down that road with Harvey.
Oh Lord,
because she can't make her own decisions without running.
That's right. We go back to the beginning of the show with individuality. You're an individual and you're doing that. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. Harvey is not dealing with that. Because if you're gonna have that attitude about it, then that means you're gonna have that same attitude about every other situation in the relationship. I did it because I wanted to. It's not an I thing. It's a we thing in a relationship. So if you're gonna start with I'm doing this because I want to do it, then we got a problem. Because now everything else that happens in the relationship, you're going to use that same mentality, I want to do it. And if it's a I thing, then it can't be a we thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
So knock it off.
I'm sorry, let me just ask you this as a secondary question. What if the response is because it's not an issue? Is it because it's
It is an issue. It is an issue.
It's because it's not an issue, and it shouldn't be an issue. If I choose to be okay, so are you feeling the same way? If I have $100 in my bag or a few $100 in my bag, and we pull up to a corner with a drug fiend or an addict on the corner, these bums, which is becoming a profession, by the way. But I decide to pull out $100 or $200 and put it in their cup. Would you have the same issue?
I'm gonna say, why are you doing that?
And it's gonna be for the same reason. Because
I
want to do it. No. It's something that I feel moved to do. Is that an issue?
My spirit is not allowing me to go through this. No, you can't say to me, I'm doing this because I want to do it, and this is what I'm doing. This is my money, and I'm doing this, and I'm giving this guy an extra $100 because he looks good, and I'm sitting there. I got a problem with that. And especially, I got a problem with that anyway. And now, if you're going to elevate it and say, this is my money, I'm going to do what I want to do, we got a problem. We got a problem.
But then
because guess what, baby?
Either way. We're arguing in the restaurant about wanted to do, and now you're upset about something that really doesn't even impact you in any way other than your feelings and your ego.
Oh my God!
This
The
is
show
about
is
your
over.
ego.
The show is over.
This
show is
if
over.
You're threatened by me leaving a man because he's attractive and gave great service, because sometimes some people really do give great service, and I want to leave him $100 tip. You're gonna cause us. We're not having a whole discussion at the restaurant.
You damn right we are.
All your ego.
What?
All your ego.
God.
All your ego.
I don't.
Because if it's not an issue, it's not an issue.
I was gonna scream at
Senny?
What?
Is it just me?
Yeah, you're on your own little planet, young lady.
No.
Who's tolerating this? Who's tolerating this?
I mean...
No, B, I love you to death. No, I'm a man, baby. We're not doing that. I don't care which way you want to philosophize this thing and feelings and play mental gymnastics and you can do this and I can do that like some type of rap song. No, we're not doing that.
If you're a man, you don't feel threatened by $100 tip for any reason.
What?
I'm just saying, it's not...
You think I'm going to sit there as a grown-ass man and my wife give this muscle-bound guy $100 just cause, and I'm okay with that?
Again,
if you and I was in a relationship, we're dealing with that right then and there. You could get up and walk out and leave and be whatever, but we're dealing with that right then and there. I'm sorry.
But, Shawn, my thing with you a little bit is that you feel like, because I feel like when you want things done and like because you're the man.
I'm the man, baby.
Right. You're very this is why I say you're very like gender role specific. You feel like because you're the man and what you say, like because if you did it and your wife were to come at you, you wouldn't give her that same leeway to change anything. You'd be like, I did it because I wanted to do it.
Not true.
And you kind of feel like your say is the final say, regardless.
Not true. If I did that, if I did that, right, gave the chick the broad the extra $95.
Not the broad.
If I gave the broad,
the waitress.
yo, B, B love. If I gave the broad an extra $95, and she's a fine ass broad. She's so fine, it's like, what are you doing here? Fine.
Right.
And my wife came and she had a serious problem with this. As a man, I'm going to refrain from the tip and say, listen, my fault. Maybe I was wrong because of the way you feel. Cindy, don't hit me with that man thing, because with the man situation, I see the whole situation as a man. If my wife had a problem with this, we're going to adjust the bill back to $30, and I'm going to say to my wife, excuse me, I temporarily lost my mind. And I do apologize, honey, because with my wife, her feelings are the most important to me.
Right.
I'm going to say, honey, I lost my mind. Excuse me. You see she got that fat ass. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes, here, honey, take the bill. My fault. Miss, get your fat ass away. We're going to adjust the bill because my wife feels a certain way. That's a man. And if you two, if I'm dating both of you, I'm not tolerating none of this.
Well, listen, you don't have to. You're married.
I know that. Yeah.
Thank God that B, you're right. Thank God I'm not married to you or Cindy J.
And we have it on the record. So just so you know, Mrs. Harvey, it is on the record now on how this whole situation will go down, should it ever go down.
You're damn right. You're damn right. You're goddamn right.
Well, you should be happy. If you were married to me or B, we'd let you spend your $100. That's what you want to do, right?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Cindy, what up?
I know they just want to fuck so bad. Exactly.
All right, Cindy, what else you got? This is what else is going on? Because you got me on now. My heel is really hurting now.
Oh Lord.
Well, well, let's talk about being petty. The governor of Texas, he is really wildin'. Governor Greg Governor Greg Abbott sends 50 migrants to Vice President
Hold on,
Kamala
Cindy. Cindy,
Harris.
hold on. Y'all talk among yourselves. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just continue reading the story. You didn't have to give that announcement. Um, Texas Governor Greg Abbott sent a bus of 50 migrants to Kamala Harris's home. This comes only 2 days after the Republican governor sent two buses to her Naval Observatory home. The migrants were mainly from Venezuela, and there was a newborn among the group. Governor Abbott previously announced on Twitter that he sent two buses of migrants to the VP's residence. He tweeted, "We're sending migrants to her backyard to call on the Biden administration to do its job and secure the border." Governor Abbott and other Republican leaders from border states have been sending migrants to Democratic-led cities for months. Reports state the leaders are calling it a protest of President Joe Biden's immigration policies amid an influx of migrants at the border. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped off approximately 100 migrants outside VP Harris's Washington, D.C. home and on Martha's Vineyard. Unfortunately, some Democratic leaders say they didn't receive any prior warning that migrants would be arriving. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker said the state has since offered voluntary transportation of the migrants off Martha's Vineyard to a temporary shelter at Joint Base Cape Cod. One Venezuelan immigrant spoke out, saying that he was there when someone asked migrants to sign their names on a list to get a seat on the plane. He advised that he did not sign up because the offer sounded too suspicious and did not align with his plans to get to New York City. Victor told the reporter he felt that the other immigrants were duped into taking those flights and understood why they took the risk. It's complicated because they tell you you'll have everything you want, but when they arrive, people are basically lost. Vice President Harris hasn't addressed the migrants, but President Joe Biden has criticized the migrant drop-off as simply wrong. He said it's un-American, it's reckless, and we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. I think that this is absolutely horrendous. It's almost inhumane. Like, these people have nowhere to go. They're obviously fleeing for whatever purposes they're fleeing for. And you're just shipping these people wherever because you want to be petty. And it's like disgusting that we have government officials wasting taxpayers' dollars doing this type of stuff. And it's so funny because everybody, want to complain about student loans and the taxes. When let's talk about this. When you want to talk about tax dollars, let's talk about tax dollars going to these people doing petty ass shit with it. Let's talk about people in Missouri who still have no running water, in Mississippi, and in Flint, Michigan. Let's not forget them. Right. This is all so disgusting. And it's like, is it funny? Like, what the hell? How you just shipping people all over and these people have no idea where they're going or what to do or no type of resources? You have children. Like, this is America.
Well, no, it's not America in the kingdom of Texas and Florida, and I always call them every time the Governor King Abbott and the Governor King DeSantis.
They're the ones running it.
Exactly.
Republican led, so this is America.
Excuse me. Texas and Florida are their own different countries as far as it goes for immigration. No, this is the worst situation I've ever seen with immigration. What these two governors are doing is, I think they're actually breaking the law and should be fired. To be so petty to take these folks and just ship them to the Northeast for no reason at all, just to
Be spiteful.
Be very spiteful. It's horrendous to do these, and like I feel for my Latin American folks at the border. This doesn't happen to the European Babylonians who come into this country. You didn't hear none of these stories with the Ukrainian people. They sent almost 1 million Ukrainians here because of the war, and you don't hear anything about it because the transition is so seamless with them coming into the country that it's not even a problem. There's no waiting at the border. The kids are dying. There's no separation of families. They entered into this country with no resistance or no problem at all. And it's always my Latin American friends that go through holy hell, whether it's the Biden administration or the Trump administration. It's unfortunate that these beloved people have to go through this to enter this country, but it seems like it's only them that and the Haitian folks, all these Caribbean folks go through the same problem. But if you're north in Canada, you could walk across the border, go into the store, go back home, or if you want to be an American, you could do that. This is a tragedy that they're doing this to these people, the King Abbott and the King DeSantis. It's unfortunate, and it's painful to watch on television. And somebody should get fired for this.
Yeah, this is something.
It's terrible.
What are you sending them to Martha's Vineyard for?
And that is definitely deceitful.
Wow.
First of all, these white folks up there, they don't even know what a migrant or immigrant is.
No, they do, because they're the ones that's taking care of their kids and cleaning their house and mowing their lawn.
Right.
No, but nobody wants to talk about that part. They're sitting there. They're offended. How dare you, DeSantis? And that was DeSantis' whole point. He gave that whole, Obama, you have a $12 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard? Let me give you 2 middle fingers. I'm going to drop all of these people since you say it's okay. And your predecessor says, Biden says it's okay. Y'all co-signed this nonsense. These people just running in. And so because that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and ship them to you. Oh, and Kamala, you co-signed this too? Here you go. The only reason he didn't send them directly to the White House is because he knew they wouldn't get to the front door. But if not, he would have sent them there first.
I have, unlike Cindy J, and guys, don't forget live broadcast of the show, Shawn Harvey One Show featuring Wake Up Team at Comedy in Harlem. We also have a party, and we also have Cindy J's birthday comedy show. That's Thursday, October the 27th at Comedy in Harlem. 508 East 117th Street. We are bringing the podcast live to New York City. Get your tickets, please. Also, New York King Talent will be here at the Iron Mill on October the 16th. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow. I've always, unlike Cindy J, have approval of the Biden administration because he's acting presidential and he's doing his job as president, whether if you like him or not. But in this situation, the president has dropped the ball with immigration. I am so disappointed with Joe Biden with this because you have all these state laws and the feds can only do so much. And I think that this man should step in, sue Florida, sue Texas, or put some sanctions on these people in this government, the state government, to stop doing this. We have a problem letting them in. Then when you let them in, you ship them someplace else. Let these people into the country. What is the problem? The Babylonians, they don't have this problem. 500,000 to almost 1 million Ukrainians have entered this country since they had the war with Russia. No problem. No, you don't even hear about it. They fly them in, they land in Philadelphia, they give them home and housing, and everything is good.
Well, you have to understand, too, that the Ukrainians were sent to places where there was no uproar about it. They accepted it. They took them in. They put a process in place. And, it's so unfair to blame Joe Biden from the perspective of he can't do everything. This is somebody's job. Somebody is in charge of this.
No.
And somebody needs to take charge of this. And what I mean by that is, yes, it's his job to be on top of what's going on and make a move to flex. He should be flexing at this point. Yeah, I agree with you.
Now, B, here's the problem. With whatever administration is currently the president administration, they have complete power over the homeland security. Without with almost bypassing Congress to get to go to the vote and do all this, to pass any kind of bill for immigration. So whoever's currently in power, they can change the policy of immigration for the long as they're in office. That's what Donald Trump did because he had the power. So what he did was he said, "Yo, stop them. I don't want them here no more." And they can do that. That's why I'm mad at Joe Biden because he has the power right now to bypass Congress and do whatever he wants with immigration. And I got a problem with that. You have the complete power to override all this. Go, yo, let them all in. That's my problem with him. And
it's not fair to blame him when the fact of the matter is, he said, you have to understand, this is all strategized. We're sitting here simplifying it to this is what you should do, as if they're not thinking about every way to fix this. It doesn't bode well for their presidency, his presidency, which has so many things behind it that are not good, but there are good things behind it. You have to remember, he came in here, inherited this jerk-off's mess, and now he's in a place where whatever he does is a no-win situation. When it comes to this immigration, there is somebody who's in charge of this. Where are they? Where are they not making sure that the laws that you're talking about, if there is any, to put this in place? That's their job. Now, to your point, Biden, but when he flexes, it has to be strategic. And right now, these Republicans that are crapping on these Democrats, I really hope you guys are paying attention, because for the people who are supporting these lunatics, this is ultimately going to impact you too. It just hasn't impacted you yet.
I voted for Joe Biden. I got love for Joe. He's dropping the ball on this one. I just said that he's doing a tremendous job. Except for this, I got a problem with this issue. He's got to fix that. And DeSantis.
But every president, that's why it's above them. Because if they were just that easy, they would have been done it. Every president, immigration is constantly a problem because these Republican-led states don't want them in there. So how can he let them in when the states are like, nah, we're not going to take them? And that's what is the constant going back and forth, always with the immigration.
Yeah, but it's also, but Cindy, for me, it's a racist problem.
I mean, of course, but America is racist, Shawn.
No,
even the Democrats,
no.
Even these people that everybody's like, oh, they're for it. No, they're not.
No, I'm saying because the Canadians and European has no problem coming into the country. We don't hear it. You don't hear a bunch of.
So then what are you talking about? You're talking. So are we talking about immigration?
I'm saying.
Stopping racism in America.
No, I'm talking about the immigration. It both ties into each other, and it's just so obvious. That's all I'm saying. It's obvious. Like it's two different standards.
It's obvious, but who's gonna stop it?
I'm gonna stop it.
With this conversation?
No, I'm gonna stop it at the Iron Mule on October the 27th. At Cindy J's birthday. At Cindy J's birthday party. That's how I'm gonna stop it. What else? All right, what else we have? Jesus Christ. This is Motivational Monday, guys. Only place on earth where you get your morning started right. B-Love's on the phone. Cindy J's on the phone. They're taking over the show, and I'm about to fall asleep in 2 minutes.
I'm not sure about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm tired.
In the private event, Ludacris's manager, Shaka Zulu, is being charged with murder. He was arrested earlier this week in connection with a shooting that happened in Atlanta on June 26th. Ludacris's manager and co-founder of the Disturbing the Peace record label, Shaka Zulu, was arrested and charged with murder. His real name, Ahmed Obafemi, was one of 3 people shot in the parking lot of a shopping center. The shooting left a 23-year-old man, Artez Benton, dead, and another person in the hospital. Zulu surrendered on September 13th and posted bond on the very same day. He was also hit with other charges, including aggravated assault, firearm possession during commission of a felony, and battery. TMZ reportedly broke the story back in June with sources who viewed surveillance footage and claimed that Shaka was acting in self-defense out of the APT4B restaurant. Zuli's attorney said the following: Mr. Shaka Zulu, a beloved son of the city of Atlanta, is disappointed in the Atlanta PD's decision to bring charges against him. A close review of all the evidence, including surveillance footage and eyewitness, reveals that Mr. Zulu was attacked and jumped from behind by a gang of at least four individuals and was forced to defend himself after this gang repeatedly stomped, punched, and kicked him while he was on the ground in a defenseless position. Mr. Zulu was shot in the back during the shooting and nearly lost his life, and he's still recovering from the nearly fatal injuries. He was at his place of business that night and had every right to defend himself. In an attempt to save his life, Mr. Zulu lawfully discharged his weapon in self defense, a weapon that he is licensed to carry, and we are confident that he will be cleared of all these charges. So.
Wait a minute. They were beating him up and he shot the guy. He got shot and somebody shot and he killed somebody.
Right.
And
It seemed like it was some sort of melee. I wonder if this is like bad publicity for Ludacris. Like, this is still your current manager. Like, do you fire your manager? Like, what happens right now?
and you said the gun was registered or not? I'm sorry. What you said about the gun?
His attorney said that his gun was licensed and he had right to use it.
So why is he in jail? Like, why are we talking about this?
Exactly. I don't know. They're saying that charges were brought against him in the death of the person who was involved in the brawl.
Well,
so that's why they're fighting it.
Shout out to all the folks in Atlanta, especially the folks that live there, and no shout out for the folks that like to move there and leave. I don't like that. Before we get into that, again, black folks, how many times I've said it all the time? Stop moving to Atlanta. Leave it alone.
Please, I co-sign that.
This is not anything original. You're not being original. Find another city to move to. Atlanta is congested with black folks that came from the north. It's like the reverse. Generations ago, Cindy J, black folks left Atlanta to move to New York to get the manufacturer's jobs because there was no jobs down there and it was racist as hell, right? Now, black folks are moving back to Atlanta. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's not enough space and you're playing yourself. That's the first thing. And we already know the laws in Atlanta, right, Cindy J? Because the governor of Georgia switched up the voting procedures after Trump lost and Georgia became a blue state because it was red. And black folks don't even know that. And they still moved to Atlanta. And now Stacey Abrams, who was single-handedly got Joe Biden into this presidency, right? Because she started that movement with everybody voting. The governor of Georgia took all that away. All the convenience of voting for the president or any elected official, they took it away. Because in Georgia, you was able to vote at the church after church service. They took that away. But you'll all run to Georgia and Atlanta. And the black folks that live there for generations, they don't want you living there. The city of Buckhead in Atlanta wants to become its own city. Now fast forward to Ludacris. He's from there. His manager's probably from there. This was a justified shooting. He was protecting himself. But a lot of y'all move down there. You don't even know the laws. There's a lot of migration down to Atlanta. You guys are almost like the Mexicans. You don't even know if you could carry a gun. You don't even know the laws. B, do you know the laws in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia? Do you know how they discriminate against black folks? Do you realize this?
Well, I've been to Atlanta. I'm with you, Shawn. I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan of either. I'm not a fan of the ones who've moved down there and think that they're different now. I'm like, relax. You're from the same place I am.
Exactly. Black folks, stop it. Stop moving to Atlanta. There are other countries and other cities in this country you can move to. It's too much going on. And
you know, with the gun carrying now, anybody's allowed to buy a gun. You don't need a permit and carry a gun. It has to be concealed, but you can carry a gun in Atlanta.
Well, you could do the
With
same thing here in the state of Pennsylvania. It's the same
you don't
thing.
need any kind of permit or anything. Like
No,
you
you
don't need
go,
to
you
take a
get a
test.
background check, and then and if you pass the background check, which is a 10-minute check, you go good and get a gun you want. You can go walk outside and take your gun.
No, but you need a license. You need a license to carry, and you need a permit to have it concealed.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's almost a formality here in the state of Pennsylvania. You could do that like New York and New Jersey. You can't do that.
But you don't need to do that in Atlanta. You can go get a gun right now, go to Walmart, pick up a gun, put it in your purse, and carry it with you. That's a little nerve-wracking to me.
Well, your black folks still want to move there.
It's like the wild, wild west.
Why do you?
No
Why?
lie.
B, what is the fascination? Before we move on to the next story, and Ludacris, manager, get him out of jail. He did nothing wrong here, as far as
We'll get both sides of the story soon.
I don't care if you see it in
There's
Seville.
always two sides of the story, and then there's the truth.
Yeah, but B,
So it'll come
Cindy
out.
just said on the surveillance camera that guys are beating him up, and they even shot him, and then he shot back and killed one of them. I'm trying to figure out why is he even in jail. This is probably a grown ass man.
Seems like there's more to this story.
We shall see. It's nothing is ever as it seems on the surface.
B, why black
and
folks? Why black folks are still moving to Atlanta? And then we'll move on.
They're selling it as the new Black Hollywood. And right now,
Yeah.
people are tired of New York. They're tired of what they know, and they want something new and different. And Atlanta, for its downfalls, is a beautiful state with a lot of great things going on in it. Unfortunately, it has a lot of not good stuff going on in it, and it's all over. People are getting carjacked in the rich neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Getting robbed in the rich neighborhoods. You see what's going on everywhere. So it just makes it, unattractive to someone like me. But that's why people are going down there. It's something new, different, and shiny. And people love new, different, and shiny.
Cindy, do you have a strong desire, like black folks, to move to Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, that's how a lot of us move. One or two people go somewhere, they start talking to their family and friends, and then the next thing you know, 3 or 4 of their family and friends are moving out there too. So it's just, we're just seeing that. That's how everybody gets to where they're at.
Unfortunately, I think it's a form of just folks following each other because
But also, I don't think there's anything. I mean, I think there's something to be said though, like for black people wanting to be around other black people and wanting to be in black spaces. There's so many times when black people we're trying to get away from other black people because we want to be better. We want to be in a nicer area. We don't want to be by the hood. We don't. So, I mean, I think there is something, though, to be said to be like, look, being in these white spaces is not always better. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be around people that look like me. I want to go to stores with people that look like me and, build community. And I think that's what we're seeing with Atlanta. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if there's a lot of people down there and there's an influx of people, they obviously like it.
Yeah, and I get it.
And it's going good for them.
Yeah, but I get it. But Cindy, unfortunately, and especially in the black community, you get a lot of black folks together, and I understand what you're saying about the same faces in the same places thriving. But then with us black folks and any folks, but let's just keep it with Atlanta and black folks, the crime is going up too in these cities with black on black crimes in Atlanta. So to me, it also defeats the purpose.
Because that just means that there's a lot of black people in that area and they're doing crime in close proximity to the people that are around them. It's just in any city you're gonna have high crime.
I don't know. I agree with Shawn. It feels a little crazier out there now. I was down there for 30 days, and I was like, I'm good. If I have business here, because that's the other thing, it's supposed to be, again, the new Black Hollywood, and you have the Tyler Perry Studios down there, and with the black support of, the support of each other when it comes to the black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses, that's there. All of that is there. But to Shawn's point, at what cost? And it's just a very different, it really just comes down to what do you want to do and where are you in your life? Because Atlanta is a good option.
I think it's hard for people that are. It's hard for Northeast people to go because I was just out in Cali for this past weekend. I didn't like it. I don't like how it's set up. I did not like the food. I'm sorry, California food is trash.
What part?
I didn't like it. I was in Southern California, like Temecula. I went to Los Angeles a little bit, and I was in San Diego.
Okay,
So
those are all
yeah,
beautiful places.
yeah, they're nice, but would I live there? Probably not, especially with the food options. I
So,
don't know.
so B, you spent and Cindy be back here in the studio tomorrow. Uh, so B, you spent 30 days in Atlanta. And you didn't like it, right?
No, I
Why?
did not.
Why? And then we're gonna close the show. Cindy, I gotta get out of here.
I just, when I think of Atlanta, and again, maybe I'm idealistic. When I think of Atlanta, I think of less of hustle like New York. New York City is hard. New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, they're all tough cities. So, when I think about Atlanta, I think about Southern charm and Southern, manners and just kind of a different kind of treatment. Where people have more manners and it's more welcoming. But I got down there and it was the same ghetto crap as up here. I'm like, I am not moving down here for this nonsense. And to not, I don't know, I need a certain vibe, and I just did not get it there. And I just don't feel like the people are genuine. In
Wow.
New York, seriously.
Well, thank you. You hear that, guys? If you think about moving to Atlanta, did you just hear what she just said? Same crap.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen. Let's clap. That was a great show. Cindy J online. She'll be here tomorrow back in the studio. Let's give a shout out for B Love. B, thank you. B, we leave you with the last word. Where can they find you? Cindy, they know where they can find you. We'll be back here tomorrow, God willing. Only place on earth where you get your morning started right. B, you got the last word, and we'll get out of here.
Okay, well, thank you as all, guys. It's most motivated Monday. Stay motivated. Keep doing your thing. Shawn and Cindy, always a great time. Thank you so much. I love all of you in the chat room. Make sure you check me out on LGL Real Talk on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and just check me out, guys. I'm always online. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you, Cindy. Have a great Monday.
Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Only place on earth where you get your money. Cindy, want to say goodbye to these folks? All right, see you tomorrow. We are out. God bless you guys. We're going to play. No, I'm not going to play nothing. All right, God bless you guys. We see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.